McKinnon Groves is a wellness way planned development right in the heart of the Lake Avalon rural settlement area of western Orange County and eastern Lake County. This is a renowned rural area, and yet under the wellness way planned development, this project, this acreage, has been designated an urban area by Lake County. It's been designated an urban area where you'll have several hundred homes and commercial shops right in the heart of one of the greatest rural areas in this part of Central Florida. It is absolutely mind-boggling how that happened. But in this short video, I want to explain to you the three big lies that are being spread around about this development. I have no idea how these lies started or who's spreading them, but many area residents falsely believe these lies. And the problem is one day they will learn the truth, that it's not the way they believe it's going to happen. So this presentation is going to go through the three big lies with the hope of clarifying what this development will look like in the future and how it will affect this rural area. Lie number one, that there's going to be a big border wall around the entire development so the area residents will not see the homes or all the people. The developer himself in the last community meeting confirmed there will be no wall around the development. So where this lie came from, no one knows. Lie number two, that the trails in the development will be open to the public. There will be public access to these trails. Now, if you take a look at lie number one, if there indeed was going to be a big wall, then lie number two doesn't make any sense, because if there was a big wall, how in the world would the area residents and the public get access to these trails? The truth is, there's not going to be any big wall, and there's not going to be public access to these trails, and here's why. In order for there to be public access, non-resident access to these public trails, the developer would have to deed these trails to Lake County, and Lake County would need to designate these trails as public access. The developer is not going to deed the trails to Lake County, and even if the developer was going to deed the trails to Lake County would not want the burden and the liability of having to maintain these trails for public access. So lie number two, that there'll be public access to these trails, is not going to happen. Now, you could argue that the developer could say, yes, all the area people can use the trails and can hike and ride their horses and all that. The developer can say whatever the developer wants. However, when the developer's out of the picture and it's been handed over to the homeowners association, the homeowners now become liable for these trails. They become responsible for maintaining these trails. And a homeowners association is not going to be liable to people that do not live in the community. They're not going to be maintaining trails for the benefit of people that do not live in the community and who are not paying association dues. So the homeowners association will restrict the usage of these trails only to residents that live in the community and pay association dues, and those dues go to maintaining the trails. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense with anyone who understands how homeowners associations work. So whatever the developer may say now, when this is handed over, most certainly the homeowners association is not going to allow the general public to flood into the community and use the trails for horses and ATVs and walking and all of that. It's just not going to happen. And if it did, if you think that's going to happen, then let's take it to its extreme. Then the general public would also have the right to use the community center and the pools and the swing sets and all the things, all the amenities that are there for residents of that community. And we all know that's not going to happen. That's not how things work. Okay, so number two, lie number two, that there'll be public access to these trails for area residents to use, is a lie. It's not going to happen. And lie number three, perhaps the biggest lie, that there'll be no southern access. Now, one of the things you have to understand about a county commission is no current county commission can bind a future county commission. I'll say it again. No current county commission can bind a future county commission. If you doubt that, you can call Lake County, talk to the commissioners, ask them, hire your own attorney. The land litigation attorney hired by Fox Meadow confirmed that no current county commission can bind a future county commission. Let's talk about what that means. What it means is even if the developer says there'll be no access, southern access, and even if the current county commission says, okay, there's going to be no southern access, it does not mean there will not be southern access in the future. That's why they're so willing to say there'll be no southern access, because they know that in the future, things could change and most certainly will change. So for all of the area residents that feel like they've won something, that there's no southern access or we're going to be able to use the trails, you need to wake up. Because what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here is when this is developed and you have several hundred homeowners and thousands of cars, you are going to have several hundred owners that are up in arms with pitchforks and torches, angry that they cannot get out of their community, that they're landlocked in their own community, and they will demand a southern access onto Phil C. Peters Road, Dangler Road, and Lookout Hill Road. They will demand that so they can get out quickly to the shopping center in Hamlin and Disney World. That's what they will demand. And it's right for them to demand it. Who wants to live in a community where they're landlocked and then they have to drive 1.5 miles north to get out on Heartwood Marsh, only to turn around and come 1.5 miles south now to go to Hamlin? Makes no sense. Developer knows that. County Commission knows that. They both know that in the future this will change. And here's how it will change. After the developer's long gone and we have a future county commission and all these new residents in force start complaining, a new county commission can vote to approve an access to the southern Phil C. Peters Road. They can approve an access to Dangler and Lookout Hill Road. That will happen. That will happen. And when that happens, not if, when that happens, it will require a connection to the Western Connector to alleviate the congestion. And when that happens, not if, when that happens, you will have tens of thousands of cars, 10, 20, 30,000 cars a day or more that normally right now cut around to Heartwood Marsh, down over to Hamlin and Disney from Western Lake County. They will now cut right through Phil C. Peters because it's a shorter trip. That will happen. It absolutely will happen. And then Phil C. Peters will need to be modified, widened. Rotaries and roundabouts may need to be installed to handle all the traffic. And now Phil C. Peters will become the new Heartwood Marsh. Very few people will go down Heartwood Marsh now because it's a longer trip. They'll come right from Western Lake County, cut right across Phil C. Peters into Hamlin. That's what will happen. So Phil C. Peters Road will become the new Heartwood Marsh with thousands and thousands of cars going up and down every single day. It will completely destroy the rural character of the area forever, forever. This will happen if this development is approved as planned. It will happen. It will happen. And what is mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling, is that when Lake County was proposing connecting Phil C. Peters to the Western Connector, it was nearly unanimous. 100% of the area residents were opposed to it. They were up in arms with pitchforks and torches opposed to connecting Phil C. Peters to the Western Connector. They fought it back for now. They fought it back for now because Lake County listened to them and understood that the area residents do not want Phil C. Peters connected to a Western Connector to allow cut-through traffic. But if this development, as planned, is approved, that Western Connector will happen. So it's absolutely insane that those residents that were opposed to the Western Connector, that are for this development, don't even realize that this development will require the very thing that they were opposed to before. So the purpose of this video is just wake up. Wake up. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Call the county commission, talk to them, hire your own attorney, your own land use attorney to give you that same advice. Understand, if you are for this development, understand the ramifications of what it will do to the area because it will forever destroy the rural character of the area. It will no longer be a rural area. So understand what's taking place, understand the three big lies, and please share this information with your neighbors. Get the truth out.